I've had to second guess like myself talking to you, because really you do deserve to get paid for what you do. After hearing what you did in the exorcism, that's just hearing that shit. It was like, yeah, you do need some payment, my dude. You need a good, like, I'm gonna have to pay you if I get exercise. I'm gonna be like, oh, let's come here. Here's $100. I don't know what is this a half exorcism?
I'm done.
I don't know. But
I'm done.
I can cash app you right quick. You got that cash app? I don't know. You gotta tell me right quick, because I don't want to put nothing on your table that you ain't about to get fed off of, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to know off top. But for real, like, I just kind of saw like how things was kind of evolving, and I was like, bro, this ain't no joke. These your people. Oh wow. Mama, this down. Come look. I told you I wasn't crazy.
Today's episode is a bit of a testimonial. It's from a sister who's a former guest of ours, also a longtime listener herself, and our first Patreon. You can find her episode entitled Geomantic Empaths Absorbing Slave Trauma. Basically, she suffers from a rare unexplained disorder called conversion disorder. And through her own intuition, and also through finding the podcast, she began to piece together that her issues were really empathic, stemming from her absorbing the trauma and the demons even of the people and the places that she would be visiting. And she reached out to me and just kind of, explained to me the rest that she's found in the work that I do. And she gave quite a testimonial, so I decided to share it. And also, since this will be my last podcast for quite some time, because I'm taking some rest myself, I wanted to give you, the listener, an opportunity to let me know who you are, because I have people out here listening to me, so I'd like to know your story, not even if I can't interview, I'd like to get feedback in terms of understanding who you are and what the podcast has meant to you, So I've created a survey that's about 30 questions, mainly multiple choice, but also some short answer, to give you an opportunity to let me know who you are, you know what I'm saying? And also, it'll give you an opportunity to learn some things about yourself too. For example, 3 questions are, what's your Myers-Briggs type? What's your life path number? What's your aura type? These are all important things, all important questions that an empath should know. And if you don't know them, you'll be able to find a link in the survey to answer those questions if you choose to. Obviously, you can just say I don't know, and that's fine too. But also, if you'd like to, you can leave an optional email in the survey, and I'll be able to notify you if I ever come up with a book, or if I, for example, have a future event in your area. So yeah, hopefully you decide to take the survey. To do so, you can check the description or go to afroempath.com/survey. Again, that's afroempath.com/survey. Outside of the survey, which I hope you do take, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at afroempath. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook. And feel free to check out my blog. I got a new blog coming out. It's essentially an esoteric media guide of movies and shows that I recommend we watch to kind of keep us in a superhero mindset, and also some esoteric movies and shows that I recommend that we don't watch, because a lot of shows unfortunately have they have agendas and or psychic attacks behind them, and so if you're a high level empath, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it'll also give you guys the opportunity to be able to kind of update in the comment section movies that you recommend or don't recommend, and just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And just talk with other people that are, conscious on some level and understand what we're talking about. Especially if you're a pro-Black mindset and you're watching these movies, and, you can kind of give your take on them. So, keep a lookout for that. To find the blog, just go to the afroempath.com. And if you're on the mobile, just click on the little icon there, little menu icon, and you should be able to get to the blog. I still offer life coaching. And I'm still working on retreats. I've got one planned here for the spring. Obviously, if you guys keep contacting me about the retreats, I'll keep doing them. So, looking forward to hopefully meeting some of you here soon. So if you're interested in learning the science of alchemy, please feel free to contact me at afroempath@gmail.com. Okay, that should be it. Feel free to stay in touch. Even if the podcast is dormant for a little while, the ascension process doesn't stop. So enjoy the show. Look forward to hearing back from you soon, and God bless. For questions, comments, and to show your support, visit us on the web at afroempath.com.
They saged the house. I took a spiritual bath, but it was a team effort. Like, everybody knew what I was on. Like, they know I'm empath here. Like, they know I absorb stuff here, and they respect that because they all have their individual abilities and gifts that they're rationing through and trying to get towards themselves. Like, when I tell you this awakening and this ascension is real, I see it in my family. I see it in others' family. And if I don't see it in their family, I see the small ways that it's trying to peek in, where they okay, for example, I walk a dog, right? And I go to their house, and I'm really close to that family. I can feel where their generational traumas and dramas have extended to one another, and how we could cut that up and push that to the side, because really it's just a constant, back and forth of he said, she said, you know what I'm saying? Like, in a sense of just discontentment within their family's function, if that makes any sense. So my family's function is fine because we can actually communicate with one another, because I do have a disorder. So our communication had to be elite just because of that. There's no need just going out and partying and stuff like that. So I would meditate and take time and just like think about things before I talk to my parents. So if I just spew positivity in, like, and not hyper positivity, because I'm realistic. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, it's all positivity and I feel that and that's all I feel. No, real niggas know what it is. I take myself and I allow myself to be vulnerable so that everybody can see that they can grow from their vulnerabilities and just be able to evolve and be content in their current, in their present. Because so many people are worried about the future, so many people worried about the past. But if you die tomorrow, you didn't know you was gonna die tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know those things. You just know what you can give out hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. You know what I'm saying? That's what I took while I was up here. And a lot of the times, like, I've had classes that I've taken that was just God's sign. Like, I took a chance, like what people would call luck, I call blessings. And that's how I got even to the podcast. Because when I was taking my classes and stuff, I would fall out as soon as I came in the door. Like, as soon as I came in the door. Like, or they would have like building things where it just be clashing. I would listen to podcasts and I would smoke and I'd be like, okay, go to sleep now, like, and just relax, because the stuff that you guys are saying actually made sense for the first time in my life. Doctors, psychiatrists, nurses, nurse practitioners. I know ambulance spaces and stuff like shit like that. Never compared to the fucking knowledge that I was getting from the podcast. And when I was younger, see, you talk about like you recommend reading the Bible. I used to get the Bible on tapes when I was younger. I used to get the Quran on tapes when I was younger. I used to get the Torah on tapes when I was younger. And I used to have to listen to them and do like little small reports every so often because my parents had just like read all those books. So I had no choice. Like, you were talking about when God came into my life, or when I realized God was always trying to like get a hold of me, and I was always touched by God. It was just the fact that I feel as if my generational trauma was just too in depth. Like, and I'm breaking through that, if that makes any sense. So I smoke a lot of weed because my microdosing is having to make sure that I can balance and accomplish stuff in the world as long as I can. If it's 4 hours, if it's 6, if it's 16, or if it's all day, or if it's not all day, if I just got an hour, I've accomplished one thing. So yeah, niggas need to stop tripping and seeing like they need to open up and be able to see their true selves and bust that ass out, like, and be able to push the endeavors that that they are willing to. And that's what I learned. Like, it's weird because I learned how much we are like. You're like my brother for real. I wrote that shit down too. It's like, I really respect you because I like, bruh, if I could, I have so many stories. Like, if I sit down and meditate, it burns me to like remember shit. But I can, like you talked about Stephanie and how something just bubbled up in her. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, Lewis.
I could listen to you for fucking all day. Just yeah. I'm just thinking to myself about how good you are in terms of your presence when you speak. This degree of wisdom is so necessary for our people to hear, and just like this, it's like basically a fucking you're giving right there is basically a fucking testimony, right? And I only reason I can't speak back right now instantly is because the echo. You know what I'm saying? So I have to just listen. But wow. Yeah, I didn't fucking know. Had no fucking idea. My podcast is having this level of fucking impact on anybody's life, right? So it's a moment for me to step back and be like, that's good. You know, because I go through a lot of I go through a lot of shit to put this shit out personally. It can be taxing. It can be taxing. But I do it because what else is there really to do in this world? What else really matters? You know what I'm saying? I'm a very intelligent guy. You know what I'm saying? I could easily, make it far in the corporate world. I'm talented. I could have made finance a lot of different avenues. Why do this? Right? I did it because I know the soul's the only thing real. The soul's the only thing that'll be here when it's all said and done. And so, helping people find that within themselves and strengthen that within themselves is what's going to be needed to make this world a place worth that we can live in peace. Remember to say? Because realistically, we're all the things that we go through, all stem from a sickness of our hearts and our minds. So it's like I knew we had to free that first. You know what I'm saying? As Black people, as an American culture, period, and as a world. So I was like, you know what? I knew how to speak about it. I knew how to speak about it. Yeah, it's so yeah. Hearing the impact it has on you. Oh, good. Yeah, get it in, girl. Shit. Damn, you'd be really fucking okay. Let's see how much you smoke here. I wanna watch you do your thing here.
You're wild, bro. Who watches somebody smokes?
Well, I want to see the amount. Okay, so you be getting it, girl. You be getting it, and that's all. What kind of weed is that?
This is called Nukem, like nuke, Nuke, and then it's E.
Could see it. Oh my. God damn.
It's not something you. It's just that like it's always funny to see people smoke who you never. Did you think you would be smoking? Did you smoke always?
No, I've no, I didn't.
Exactly.
I've
So
only
you know
started.
I've only started.
Yeah, I've only started smoking really this last year.
Bless your heart. And you realize with the like the
No,
like
I've smoked like maybe once a year, right? Like since I was like maybe I don't know in my mid-20s or some shit, right? Or yeah, maybe early, yeah, mid-20s, maybe once a year. Maybe twice a year, depending on who I meet, right? But on be some social occasion where I never bought it, people just have it around, you know what I'm saying? And so I smoke it, and I knew that it made me happy and giddy, but it's like I always felt like I wanted to talk to people, but I didn't have anybody to talk to that really wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Nobody understood me.
Like you didn't want to waste your high conversation with a non-intellect.
Exactly. I was like, this sucks, man. I'm just fucking more bored. I'm like, no, this shit sucks. I'm just now I'm just anxious because I want to express myself and you're not at a place to do that. So yeah. That's why I'm creating retreats. There you go. So we can have girl. We got a bomb ass life coming up. So
Bro.
yes,
Bro.
yes,
It's about to be lit.
yes,
It's,
correct.
That's a real thing. I love everybody you bring around. Like, it's not like I can tell that you've had maybe some people around you that has been on some total fuck shit and sucked you dry, and that shit was not appealing at all. And then it's like when you actually, because I felt that, like that's a thing. Motherfuckers be trying to suck us the fucking dry. Like, I need to live too. Like, why do you feel like your life existence is bigger than mine? Stop disrespecting my soul. I didn't deserve this. I have done nothing to you. Nothing. I just woke up. But people really try to suck your soul out in the most oddest ways. They figure out different ways to do it. Spiritually, sexually, mentally, physically, but it's just really cool because I never thought I would get to this place. My mom was like, yeah, oh yeah, I told my mom about you guys because she knew, and she knows all her kids are gifted. Like my sisters, like when I was talking to you before, just on some shit, like this is like I always feel as if to white people, we always gonna be more fucked up than we ever would ever say. Like that's they everything's fucked up to them. You know what I'm saying? But like my sisters are really are intelligent, but like my sister's rigid. My younger sister is like always in a lucid, happy, I'm gonna get stuff done, and like she just now started getting a little bit grim because shit started like she started to see shit. But they're very intelligent and they put stuff together. So the accuracy of what is actually evolving and happening is important because everything that you say is happening. That's God telling you to say it loud. Because if you just hold this in right now, like for any longer, that's just wasting the knowledge you have. Like you always said, like that's a real thing. I never thought that I would just be saying so much stuff repetitiously back to you. Like I almost feel like I'm like dick riding. Like it's hard. It's one of those situations where it's be like he's your brother because God sent him. Like that's like you really agreeing. I've never agreed with somebody like that. Like, and I'm a very vulgar person, but I mean that in the sense of like you're a very intelligent person, and I'm not a bandwagon type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm
correct. You're not a follower. Yes.
So it's not that I'm following you. It's that I understand what God's purpose is for you. You know what I'm saying? If it was not to do what you're supposed to be doing, and you were like, I'm just like, I don't be waiting for somebody to say fuck shit. So I just know that your intent is pure. If it was not pure, I would have been sucked that out. Like I would have been out. Been out. Like not, and you're not, because some people like even to compare people who start their Patreon, you're not like, yeah, bitch, give me that fucking money, like, or support me, like, hold me, caress me, like, and I like the demand that you have because really, even like I've had to second guess like myself talking to you because really you do deserve to get paid for what you do. After hearing what you did in the exorcism, that's just hearing that shit. It was like, yeah, you do need some payment, my dude. You need a good I'm gonna have to pay you if I get exercise. I'm gonna be like, Louis, come here. Here's $100. I don't know is this a half an exorcism? I don't know. But
I'm done.
I can cash app you right quick. You got that cash app? I don't know. You gotta tell me right quick because I don't want to put nothing on your table that you ain't about to get fed off of, bro.
Yeah.
I just want to know off top. But for real, like I just kind of saw like how things was kind of evolving, and I was like, bro, this ain't no joke. These your people. Oh wow. Mama, this down. Come look. I told you I wasn't crazy. Come here. I know I'm not crazy, but I had to tell you again. Come here. And she'd be like, yeah, I know you was gonna find him because you just was one of them kids that was always searching. You always thought you was too weird. He was
Hold
like,
on.
yeah.
No, 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 fuck that. Tell me, tell me. I want to understand this conversation. Your mother understands?
Yeah, she understands it on a level where like she understands why I am the way I am.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Katsia,
Hmm?
when you're not speaking, my dear, let go of the button so I don't have to hear my echo. Thank you.
All right, got you.
All right. But go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, she knows in the sense of uh understanding who I am. So she did the research initially. Like she's actually, this is why I say everybody in my house is gifted. Even my dad, low key, you know, he ain't no fucking joke. He even has his gift. Like there's reasons why people seek our family out. And it's not to be on no fuck shit and no like, my family's superior. They be sucking us dry for generations. That's why every time we do shit, have something good and fuck up because they just suck us dry out here. Like, I'm not going for that. No, that's not what's happening here. I'm really saying on some real GP shit. I believe these niggas was too strong when they got off the boat. Like low key, they might have swam here because they snatched one of their kids and they just pushed it too hard. Like they was like, I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna just get my baby, and or some weird shit like that. And they never found them and they got stuck and enslaved anyway. You know how the colonizer is. I don't know, but that break people's spirits, and it was just like my family's overcoming it like in their own way. Like everybody's overcoming, and that was really tedious and annoying. I was like, stay positive, family, you got this. I know these niggas is fucking with you at school, but I bitched out. I didn't even go to school. I just got homeschooled. Like in high school, I went to school, then I got my GED. How you go to high school, didn't get a GED? What? I don't know either. How did you get to the 9th grade when you was 13 but still get a GED? I don't know. But it happens. Like, so I'd be like, yeah, so this how you do this. So you don't have that happen. And don't get jumped in the bathroom, get out lagging. Okay? This is how you avoid that. And if they try, because my sister's, okay, again, I'm rambling.
No, I like it, but I want to hear about your mother, your connection with you and your mother. She understands your name. You showed her my podcast. What did she think about me? Did she listen to it too? I got a fan base. I'm a little scared, yo. What the fuck? I got people that kind of know me. What the fuck? All right, talk to me. Like, is she?
Did you not expect to get discovered?
I know, but she's gonna fucking see my face at some point. Stop holding the button down. Stop holding the button down. Okay. She's gonna. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah. I don't mind. I just it's kind of cool. So she understands who I am. Does she listen to it like you do, or just less than you do?
No. I don't think like she got that type of time. I got weird time.
Okay, good. All right, just making sure. Okay, cool. She's not a fan of the show, but she just knows me through what you say. Hey, mom, listen to this, right?
Like I showed her some of the podcasts that you had done previously to my podcast. And sometimes she would like, what do you listen to? Because she hear the beginning, like you got that monumental intro. So but yeah, like I said, she's the one who started it off. So she researched like indigo children and like a couple different varieties of like kids who had like special gifts. And she's the one who was like, I know you're special. And she tells like my sisters the same thing. So I just want to be a balance because there's 3 of us, just by the way. So she's the one who like has been so consistently about that. She's always known, like always. Because I don't have no memories for half of this stuff. So
Yeah.
she's consistently remembered.
Okay, but what did she think of me? And did she and you told her you reached out to me? Was she excited about that? What did she think?
Well, she's supportive. She was like, well, you go ahead. If you feel like, these your people, good. Like, don't. She's not the type of person to be like, it's a little leery. I don't know about this young fella here. What does he do again?
Does she understand the stuff we talk about though, and that it's not crazy, and that this is shit we really go through? That she understands. She gets life.
Louis, I talk like this to everybody.
Okay, cool.
Like, like when I told her, she said, "Well, damn, okay. So show me a little bit what you're talking about." And I kind of scrolled through the screen and talked like just some of the headings of your podcast. And she was like, "Oh, okay." I can tell it started like ignited something in her. Just seeing like that's the type of stuff I'm talking about, Louis. You ignite. Oh, even if they just open up your podcast and just be like, "Well, I'm not gonna listen to it all the way. I'm just gonna see what the head." That's where people can do their own research because you don't pick headings. And this is like just to go back to my mom, not to get off my mom because you want to know what she thinks about you. Um, she's a Googler, so all you got to do is copy and paste something from one of your headings from your site, Patreon as well, YouTube, anything. Anytime you have multiple ways you can copy and paste, you can get that whole in that search engine. And my mom has a nickname for Googleina. She'll get on Googleina and she'll search that whole all night long, like all night, just to get an answer. And she she took some of the stuff that I was saying, and I could tell again that it was like okay, and it might have even comforted her a little bit because she know I'm kind of like done searching. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes any sense. Like, I ain't gotta push so hard. I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, she just knew that I wasn't tripping in school. Like, I'd be like, it's like she would tell me, she's like, you always talked about feeling kids' energy and like being sick and stuff and like not being able to cope and stuff and like always feeling as if you was on, like you would just be like, she didn't feel like my dad was kind of about it, but when it came across in a way where it was like in a condensed, organized fashion, like unfortunately Black folks don't really always consecutively have organization. Not, and I keep this non-monolithic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to come from nobody. You're a very organized, clear-cut person, and she is a very organized, clear-cut person. So it was like, okay, and she don't question God. That's one thing we don't do. So it was it was there, if you know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really leave any, I do my research too. I don't really leave anything to fucking chance or I should say, when I say I prove, I back up. Like I said I was an exorcist. I said I was an exorcist, a year ago, and I talked about it. I talked about exorcism, but then the retreat happened and one happened. So it's like, it gave people an understanding of, okay, these guys are either really high trained actors all of a sudden, or this guy is practicing what he preaches, and so yeah, we're getting to that point. I knew we would get to this point, and it's time we begin to heal ourselves in ways that we can. Obviously, it's like I'm never gonna come out here. Understand that there's a place for Western medicine, and I'm not gonna say, hey, if you have X, Y, and Z, come to me. I will heal you from this. I'm saying, I'm going to do energy work on you. What happens? Whatever illness you have, whatever it's called. I'm not saying I can cure that. I'm just saying I'm going to do energy work on you, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, for legal reasons, we're getting to the point now with the level of healing that I can do, right? That eventually there probably will be people that come to me that have illnesses that, like yours, that are unexplained. That it may interfere, it may take away from some money of some powerful institutions that we've been well accustomed to, and some, in the same way weed is taking away marijuana, legal marijuana is taking away from these pharmaceuticals. Other forms of healing that are energetic are going to be taking away from some Western medical facilities. So let's put it that way.
Bro, okay, I'm not gonna hold you, but that stuff that Steph was talking about, I think she like based somewhere. I think I told you about this earlier, but she phased somewhere where, no, actually I didn't, sorry. It was in my notebook. Well, she faced somewhere where she could only connect, you know, people to it was y'all, That's what she said. She saw y'all connected to like Egypt and like a couple other places, right? So I feel that that's the only way we don't know enough about ancient Egypt to be able to be like, well, it was down the street from, Waskabar. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I could connect and see what she was talking about, but realistically, I know that you can't explain that. So the level of healing and the level of stuff that we're talking about right now, I can't. I'm only gonna look it up. I'm only gonna research it. You know what I'm saying? I'm only gonna push. The limitations of what I see is. That's the thing. That's about just to keep it real light. You're going to hit shit so hard that you about to make stuff be like boom, boom, boom. Like you don't know this, but you really have explained so much more than you could have you humanly could pick up possible. Like you will literally have to listen back to every one of your podcasts, take notes just to re-explain the actual parts of coping mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? Like not even coping mechanisms, but just the range of balancing and just technique it takes when you're a high level empath. A lot of times I feel like, you have to go through levels. You might be an empath and then you might be a high level empath. And then I feel like you're about to get to a point where your connection to God gets so strong that you're about to connect even more with people pivotally touched by God. Like I'm talking about people that if you just say a slight couple words to them, like they're gonna help you. And that's not just gonna be you. Like that's another thing. Just to say that you gave so much back to Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of like the energy you had, I know you had to push some good energy out on him so he could actually heal a little bit more in his progression. So that knock me-ness and that like weird like after effect of him personally was him being able to recover and stuff. He was probably like, and I know what that is. My episodes are like that. So I know what you were talking about is what I've been doing to myself for the last 4 years, naturally. So, what I just didn't know what to talk about, like how to say it. So what you're doing is bringing a different level of progression to what people have thought was stagnant. And what you're talking about, this high level vibration, yes, it's very high. Because like you said, people are starting to catch on. I was just talking to my mother about how people are starting to catch on to spirituality because bitches are starting to sell shit. They're trying to make you feel good. Like, like whenever you can start making capital like things off of which spiritually you have naturally empathy and stuff like that. When I first got up here, they're taking classes for empathy in hospitals now. Shit, we already have naturally. But doctors have been so crass and cruel for the last up 10 years, you know what I'm saying, like that, that they don't even have a humanistic characteristic anymore, you know what I'm saying, like that. So like when it comes down to a long term, where you are gathering your last days, whatever time, if God is arranging you, just know, I know this is a weird commitment to make, and I'm being serious. Just know, in some shape, way, or form, you'll keep the fucking dream alive with me. I don't have to be extra and do these things, but just like you are like low key one of the reasons why I started Queen Jones. Like I don't have many friends that I actually take advice from because a lot of niggas is still stagnant. You feel me? So you before you was even my friend, like I don't know this, but before you was even my friend, before we had even talked, like in real life, I was on like adapting and figuring out stuff. But when you talked about having to go out of your zone, like your lane essentially to evolve, that got me to a point where I had to do it myself because I know that even with my illness, if I stay stagnant, it won't help anybody. So everybody in my house, everybody around me, we have to be healing each other. Like, I will yell at somebody if they're staying stagnant in their spiritual characteristics and what they know is good. And honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm really starting to get to a point where I can talk to my people more like on a telepath level, or I can help them innerly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever you're teaching on a podcast, just know there's somebody else like me, low key behind closed doors, trying to get their wits together to figure out how they can be a part of it too in some type of way, you know? So that's it, Louis. I'm sorry. You look sleepy now.
No, I'm not sleepy. No, not sleepy. I'm just I'm my soul is tired, right? And I'm realizing that now, hearing you and what this podcast has done for you, I've realized that I have done this for fucking I've done this for a while. I'm not sure if you guys realize that, because I kind of developed a lot of podcasts before I actually put it out, but I've been doing this for a while. This work for a while. You know what I'm saying? Obviously we've been empath alive, but in terms of the podcast, right, and getting this out, this information out, and it is taxing, man, because especially times like this when you are absorbing the trauma of high level empaths and you're having to transmute it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, God, I don't know if I can keep going in terms of the podcast, in terms of expressing it, because I have to, for example, right, when I do an exorcism, it's like basically demonic transference, right? And I can do that even without an exorcism like the one you saw or heard with Marcus. I do them on subtle levels, right? Just by speaking to people. Like, I've had that sister Chantel. I did energy work on her and her son, just speaking to them. You know what I'm saying? And just putting my will and intention out there, and it works. It's healing. But the point is that, like, I'm transmuting. I guess times like this where it's like I feel I feel a little tired. My soul feels a little tired. To hear the impact that the work that I and we and that, and obviously I have guests, but I'm just saying from my, at least I'm putting the episodes out to hear this work, period, right? To hear this work and this this podcast has touched you in that way, and that you feel that it's touched other people, and I think, yeah, I hope you're right. It's like, I don't know. I don't get feedback until I get it. Right? Because this is shit that people don't want to fucking talk about. Right? This is shit people don't want to fucking talk about. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold any fucking punches. Right? I'm telling you, hey, this is a truth. Align yourself with it, right? Because realistically, I'm here. I'm coming, and I'm going to expose shit. I'm going to break shit down and make it a reality for you, whether you're ready for it or not. Whether you're ready for it or not, whether the world's ready for it or not, I don't care. I'm not here to serve the world. I'm here to serve God's will, right? So, I've hoped that the love I've put out in this, the love I put into this is going to be able to return to me and see some of the visions that I've wanted to have made manifest, right? Because it's not just about me. It's about translating this into the physical world and not just the world of ideas, right? And sure, I've done it to a degree, but obviously, it's God's kingdom is is bigger than any one man's, bigger than any a podcast show. It needs to transpire in the hearts of in the hearts and minds of man, and be made manifest, right? And all aspects of every single dimension and realm, right? And the earth is just the spiritual realm vibrating slower, right? And so now we're getting to that point now. And I know. We are. I'm saying I am. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's beautiful. And I have to. I'm learning to not question myself because I I don't necessarily. I look back from time to time, but it's like I don't. It's like I don't really think about the impact it has until I hear from people like yourself. You know, and then I'm like, okay. Um, okay, God, thanks. Cause I need some help. I need some help. I need some help. I need some support too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's it's a heavy cross to bear. I'll just put it that way. It's a heavy cross to bear. Yeah.
You are about to be surrounded where you can actually maybe I know you the ultimate healer. God the healer is the healer of all healers. Maybe you not have to feel as if you have to heal everybody every time you're around, because that within itself, being a high level empath, maybe being surrounded by, just for a moment, like at least a couple of hours before the shit hit the fan, just having that moment where it's just like, we good, guys, like, just sit down. Eat the sandwiches, all right? Eat the sandwiches.
That's you. That's you, Mama. That's the energy you bring. That's the energy you're bringing. That's your gift, Mama.
But you see the positive, you see what I'm saying, like the positive.
Yes.
Like a good, like we can come together in a way where nobody
Yes.
they have that burden on.
I just want to fucking relax. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm setting shit up now the way I'm setting it up. If you're on a mission, right, in a vessel, in a world that you know you can't stay in, right, and that is your mentality, based upon what God has called you to do, you can't live a life of relaxation other than the relaxation that you've earned from transmuting falsehood. And when you've learned one plateau, one peak, typically God has a new one in store for you, right? Mm-hmm. Although I really do feel that at some point, God's gonna be like, all right, Lewis, like I think with the exorcism of, that I've done it for before, the one, you've heard it with Marcus, but I think the exorcism, just the episode, I think, at least in people's minds, right? And also for me, because I'd never done one in that manner before, with the with the voice to that degree. What the fuck? That was even new for me. But I think that's a plateau that should. Obviously, you saw the whole thing on Patreon, so you understand that I did it, and it wasn't like I did it and I fucking passed out, or I had to go to sleep, or that. And I did it and I fucking wanted to go do some shit afterward.
Yeah.
So that is obviously the power comes from God, but God is allowing me to show others that I can do this. It can be done. If you have those issues, come to me. Obviously, you're one of the people that have reached out to me in that regard. But let me ask you: did you reach out to me after you heard the retreat, the exorcism retreat, or did you do it just listening to me speak about exorcisms?
No, because the retreat was cut up, and well, not cut up, but like it wasn't set up where I knew that the exorcism was coming. So when I had heard about it, and I guess I sent the message, I was going off of the first, like, you guys coming together. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that was the next phase that y'all had spoke about, that I was excited for, just as a listener.
But after that, you must have been like, "Oh, I got this is the right guy, right?" Or you probably already knew, didn't you?
Yeah, been new. And I was like, when I heard it, I was just like, well, damn. It wasn't scary. It was almost comical, because I was just like, yeah, he would do some shit like this. All right. I laughed. I was like, I think I said, like, what the fuck? But it wasn't like what the fuck in a scary way, but it was like, what the fuck? This he do extra. Like, do you like? I immediately was questioning. I was like, do you sleep? Like, you just, like, I didn't understand, like, the fact of how you was just so regular. You was just like, yep, Just another day.
I've been doing this shit for a minute, yo. Listen, people listen to the podcast, they're listening to it, and yeah, I'm all talking. Like, I'm doing exorcisms on some of my guests, some of my fucking co-hosts, even. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm growing fucking tremendously throughout the podcast, and only so yeah. That's
It's
too
showing.
yeah.
I believe that you could do a lot of stuff because I just kind of knew God blessed you. Like, ultimately, I didn't, like, again, I never was like, yeah, gonna start following this dude just cuz. Seems like it's the right. No, it was really like a part of searching for myself. And I didn't think it was gonna be pivotal until it started connecting even more. Like when I started narrowing down things and it started clicking, and then I had like a sense of like release and relief. But yeah, so I was like, when I actually heard your voice, I was like, all right, take your ass to sleep now, cause you good. Like, you're fine now. That's the sense I had, like, just to keep it simple.
Hold on, you're saying when you found my site the first time, you heard my voice for a second and then you went to bed?
Yeah, I went to sleep. I don't even think I had like maybe 15 minutes that I listened to. It had to be like you're like 45-minute minimal is for you, or like less or like more. I don't know. But it wasn't your full
The first
podcast. I
podcast
was
you
like,
listened to was The Body of Christ, Ascension, The Role of Empaths, which was only about a little over a half hour, I think. So
well, it was I listened to like less than 15 minutes of it and went to sleep, and I had to replay it again.
yeah, I was gonna
Like
say
I
yeah.
cause
I could tell you to replay it again because the end part is the fucking end part is the shit, right?
this guy, I don't know what this make me have to research you. Like, you don't seem, I don't know, you just don't seem like you from here. Yeah, I don't even know what's up. Like, you're interesting.
Could see. What do you? Of course. What the fuck? Yeah. Of course I'm not. We're not. You're not from here either. What are you talking about?
It's weird because it's like I didn't think, okay, on a fuck it. When I was younger, I never felt like I was regular or I was from here. And I used to try to do shit to try to make me feel regular, but I never felt regular. If anything, I felt like I was dying and I couldn't stand that feeling. So as like time went on, I got sick a couple times in weird ways, and then I got this pivotal sick, and then my mom did this research about all this like extra stuff. And then, I didn't really care too much because I was just trying to focus on healing and trying like to be the best person I could be because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Progression to coming up to Boston was one of the most drastic movements in my life. So when I found the podcast, it was just like, okay, because I call you brotherly, like you
Mm-hmm.
were very brotherly. So I was like, this is your people, you can rest, or this is your person. So calm down a little bit, like chill, if that makes any sense. Because I was just so I was tired of being around regular people and they're just BS of just functioning
Were you
in
tired of
life
being alone, or were you tired of being around regular people?
around people who were lying to themselves.
Okay.
That makes you feel lonely. I don't give a fuck.
I hear what you're
I
saying.
don't
Yeah.
have a,
I hear what you're
I
saying.
don't, it's an uncomfortable feeling, but being around a group of liars, and it's, it's weird because people expect you to start lying with them. And I'm just like, I know now I don't have to feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear.
So it's like, so I know you're not from here. That's why I say you my people, but it just boggles me away because I'll be like,
Did you know you were going to
because
contact me? Did you know you were going to contact me after the first time you heard me, or no?
I knew that I probably should pay attention to you for longer and see what it progressed into. I didn't know if, see, yeah, I knew that I wanted to understand you better. So I don't know if that means I was going to reach out to you, but I didn't. See, when I first started listening to podcasts, I didn't know if this is just how you were like once a week, twice a week, or or like every day, or stuff like that. So when it evolves to like really understanding to like you live this way, then I was like, okay, so now you can at least try some shit. Like try to articulate at least that you understand something, you know what I'm saying, or you're happy about this. I don't know what the first message was, but just this, it wasn't to be like, ooh, I'm gonna try to talk to do this, you know what I'm saying? But like more so like I really respect. It was always out of respect.
Mhm.
So I guess that's what evolved to, just like just respecting you and trying to understand you and figure out where that outcome would take me.
Cool.
I just really want to learn a lot from you, and I always am searching for like, the fact of the matter is, it's just like you are going to push me to do better. Period. I have to be my best self around you. Like sometimes it's hard because I'll pass out in real life or seize, or and just be in a dangerous situation or something like that. And
Cause see,
it's good
realistically,
being.
I think that that's gonna be less and less in your life coming up soon.
It is. I believe it too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see you working with me and that being something that you have to worry about. You know what I'm saying, in the future, realistically, if your issue is really energetic, yeah, I'm gonna have you on a fucking superhuman level. Passing out, that's beneath you.
That's
That's beneath
literally.
you.
Sorry. That was good. The things you said, you're good. But no, it just makes me think about like the person I know I am, and like some of the stuff I have done to just kind of leap of faith. And this was a major leap of faith, you know what I'm saying?
What
Every
speaking to
step of
me?
my life. Well, yeah, speaking to you for real, and like, but not even just listening to the podcast. I could have found the podcast and be like, well, that's what it was. All right. Put it on the phone, walk away, and continue on with my life. And, I wasn't just for that. I was like, at least hear out what he's saying and kind of see where God is trying to lead you to, because I've had to like really just educate myself right quick, but it was more so like you had like a free workbook page, like you're a free, kind, like intelligent workbook page that, no, you're a CD-ROM, brother. You a CD-ROM. And I liked CD-ROMs when I was younger. And it just, you remind me of good quality, you know, education. I don't know. I'm sappy like that. But like I like that. That's sexy. For real. Like, um, yeah, that's sexy. Just intelligence and not playing yourself. I don't know. That's appealing. Like regardless of how this goes, that will make me be your friend or your companion for the rest of my life, for as long as I'm functioning. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, cool. You've never heard of CD-ROM like mine before?
no, no,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, I do occasionally wonder who else enjoys these CD-ROMs as much as you do. Is that a bad thing to think about?
No, you about to get some panties thrown at you, and it's about to be hard on you. You gonna have to. I don't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't. I don't know how I'm gonna handle this, but I'm gonna get it together. But like the first podcast though, for real, the one that I heard, I was like, who's giving you a hug? But more so like I really was concerned about like how, like I knew you were celebrating for 10 years. I was like, first off, good job. But I can just know that for you, it's it's gonna be interesting because you're gonna have some women on your ass soon. Like in the next 5 years, you're gonna have to like really, really, really just get your types and the things that you really want. Cause women are gonna come after you and it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I don't And you're gonna have to really, I'm being dead ass, because that
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just looking. I'm just listening, and I really am listening, and I'm really am listening. So go ahead, keep talking.
I just got a good sense of knowing.
I'm gonna eat
I
this
just,
apple here.
bless your heart though, and all your parts. That's all I can say, because it's just gonna happen because you are actually valid, and you're being truthful. And women who are that and who have the same mindset as me, in the sense of like, our men are dying, we have to figure out how we as a like women can like even that out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of women on your ass, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna blow your head up. It's not gonna blow your head up literally, but you're gonna have a moment where you have to re-screw your head on, because it's gonna be a lot. And I almost I can almost see it. Like, I don't know who had more than 20 women like throw their soul at you at the same time, but just prepare yourself for that, because that's what's coming for you. And the moment you really, 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 really awaken yourself, it's just gonna be some shit. It's gonna be some shit. I'm telling you.
Oh man. Well,
You don't have that
well,
airline. So it was a crazy year. 2025 was crazy. I had all like my wives aligned. It's just weird. I don't know. So many things has happened. We were all tested. Everything's gonna be so safe and cute for you. You're so like what's that called? You're so detailed. Everything's gonna be like safe and secure. You'll have shit together, because once you realize what's about to happen to you, it's gonna hit you, because you are what is pretty much being amplified. Like, I don't know, you're like a mirror, like an image being thrown of what's actually going on in our society, and you're actually handling like in your body, you know what I'm saying? And women is gonna be like, oh my god, he can handle. Okay, but it's not like it's the things. Okay, so we talk about, disability and shit like that. The things that we fucking are dealing with right now, we're gonna be beyond that shit. Like, obviously, this thing that God has given you, the things that God has given you is going to prevail a lot harder than societal guidelines. So once that shit like pivots into like, society, and I hate to say it, we have a lot of shit kind of going fucked up environmentally. But what we do have is the fact that the sun is starting to hit us a little bit different and awaken us. So the shit that is gonna be, you know, fucking just fictitious is how we feel it is gonna be broadcasted. Because I don't know, what we feel is really what's real. So
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. You know, this power coming out of my hand, this shit eventually is gonna allow me to do shit that is not fucking. I mean, the exorcism's already strange, but we're getting to a point where we're gonna be doing some real shit, some real superhero shit. So it is the fuck it is. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he gonna turn them out. He gonna bring out the crowd, and this is just what's gonna happen. Because I was minding my business, trying to keep this hella professional. That's why I had to tell you today. This ain't no joke, out here. You about to get this like a lot harder than what you getting, because I was minding my business.
Yeah. But no, I hear you. But let me ask you: the first podcast, did you feel that for me, or did you feel it more later on? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you feel progress in terms of my energy and my confidence and just this the spark of God within me?
I feel like I said, you evolved, and you could hear where you were waking up, like in a different position than you were just not the day before the podcast, before Ascension. And that the progression was more so towards just kind of it didn't at first you didn't think it was going to turn into what it was going to be now, but it was more so like you were so vigilant, you know what I'm saying? And you kept transparency the whole time during your vigilancy. And that was why it was so clear when you were, I don't know, when you were evolving. I think what really changed the game is when you started to like connect even more. Like, so hearing that was important. And then to write,
Connect with who? Connect with who?
like connect. Okay, see, just the people you brought on your podcast and just how you were getting your Facebook page adapted and things like that. And then even like your YouTube, you have probably just like you can see the pieces kind of making a picture now, you know what I'm saying? But the confidence was because those you could see it now. Like it seemed like the things that were happening, not some of that stuff you were kind of just learning yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like you were applying it. Like I remember hearing you saying that, you know, I'm just starting doing this myself, but we all got to do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was more so not like to come after nobody in a targeted way, like, you know, but
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. Actually, I was the podcast I have, that's that sister Nicole Livingston, you know, who's a spiritual teacher in her own right, right? Um, I was like talking to her. I was all nervous and shy talking to her, you know, and you know, I mean, I did it. I think I did a pretty good interview, but I was a little giddy, you know, I was a little giddy.
Mhm.
But realistically, I'm sure she's a great teacher. I'm just saying, but you know, like I'm sure, you know, I've had other guests. I'm sure they're great in their own field, you know, in terms of I had a sister that did this tarot, but their gifts are gifts that they were. I'm not gonna say we're all born with them in our souls, but that's like their gifts manifested earlier. I'll put it that way, right?
Mm.
She saw angels when she was a child. You know what I'm saying? I think she
Mm.
might have even saw when she was a baby. She did, even when she was a baby, right? And I've had sister Princess India. She saw images when she was a child. She saw visions when she was a child.
Mhm.
I didn't have any kind of I don't know, supernatural or I don't know, paranormal or I don't know, healing, faith healing type of miracle or whatever the fuck I don't know the fuck you would call this shit. What exorcism
Yeah.
is, or even having energy come through your palm. You know what I'm saying? It manifests in a different way. You know what I'm saying? That is it's not I don't say easily done as if they don't have their own journeys, but it's not, it's rarer. It's rarer. You know what I'm saying? It's rarer.
Mhm.
So I didn't have anybody, I didn't have like anybody to compare myself with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Realistically, because even, you know,
Mhm.
an exorcism thing, these motherfuckers that I've never seen exorcism done. I've never heard exorcism. The things you see on YouTube are all mostly fake shit. And they don't even really try to act believable. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
It's all theatrical type shit. So yeah, I didn't have anybody to compare myself to. So I think it was good that I had so many other people in the podcast with gifts, and I just stayed humble. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, I know that as a tarot card reader, you know that most women right now in this field are making more money than I do.
Mhm.
Because realistically, people you know, people are more likely to want to know their future than to have a demon fucking exercise for them or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or get energy worked at a level that's going to uh completely change what they thought was possible from human to human. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
Because the energy work I do there might be other people that I'm sure I'm sure there are other people that must do it to some degree, but I know that where I'm going to go with it, based upon what we've transmuted in our generational trauma as Black people, there's nobody on the planet Earth that could ever withstand this level of transmute this amount of pain and trauma. And because of that, I know that there'll never be anybody who will ever have the amount of power um, to magnetically through their love shape and transform and bend the world to its will, like I'm going to have, or people like myself are going to have soon. So, and just so in terms of just our race. So, yeah. How the fuck did I get in this conversation?
I'm good at doing that.
Yeah, a lot.
But I like hearing stuff from you.
That's good.
So I can apply it. Helps me with my day-to-day life. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like interrogate you.
No, I like it. I like talking. This is good.
But no, I really do apply it and I do be listening. That's why I had to go to the vaults of your pages because I wanted to make sure I wasn't over I obsess over things because I want to make sure I don't energetically mess up, if that makes any sense. And I think you and what your energy and your being and God just kind of bringing you into my life. I was just like, damn, I gotta be a big kid. It just like you don't have, um, well, I don't have time. I never really felt like I had time to be a child, and that might be the worst thing in the world. But when I listen to you and your voice and just like I know the impact that you have on me is affecting others. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of if you really believe in yourself, you believe in God, you know that God has touched other people. So it's just one of the most beautiful, consoling things just to hear somebody who's older than me, and not a woman. Because I meet a lot of female empaths, and a lot of women are empathic, and they just be like stuck in pain cycles. And it's not to come after nobody, but it's just like for real, for real. I know many women like that, and they just refuse to do better. And then they're like, a lot of women are sexually traumatized, and I just be feeling like so outside the box of that. Like I have my issues and qualms, but I know that I just there's just constant victimization of women and things like that. I just was like, I wanted a sound dude that could be like, I don't know how to really describe that. You just a sound male figure where it wasn't where I was feeling naggy or like weird being vulnerable. It was, I don't know. It because your voice is so CD-ROM-ish. I was like, you can do regular stuff and be calm. It was like a centering point, and I was like, that's why God brought you into my life. So just listening to you, I know that God brought you as like a centering point, because I'd be wanting to fuck shit up, like, and do like go back and try to like figure out how to fuck shit up. That's the best way I could say, like, in the sense of like when stuff doesn't happen fast enough for me, I figure out like little nitpicky ways to fix shit. And it's like nigger rigging shit for spiritual shit is not gonna help. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna help. And um motherfuckers was always at my ass about, my apathy and just not really giving a fuck about, how people were handling shit. And I was just like, cause I gotta be at peace, motherfucker. And you really helped me with that. So that's why I'll be sitting and listening to you and flipping a conversation, because I'll be like, why? Why is he so strong? And then God be like, cause he's my child. And I'll be like, oh, okay. Okay, God. Whatever you say. And then I just keep on playing it how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of changed the game on there. Like I was not expecting anything other than just me listening to the podcast and me evolving and trying to apply some other shit, because I'm done with therapy and that shit. Like in the sense I don't have time to talk to people over and over about the same thing and not do shit about it. Ah, ugh. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like fuck
It's
people
beneath you.
up.
It's
Like
beneath you. It's beneath you.
It's
It's
exactly.
beneath you. Fuck
Exactly. It
that.
makes
Just
me
say the
cry.
Listen, they've tried to put me in therapy. Nigga, I'm speaking to mainly white women, right? I'm looking at them like, if you understood who I am and the level of wisdom I have, right? It would be an insult to you. It'd be an insult to you, right? To try and fucking diagnose me,
Bruh.
right? You'd be insulting yourself. You'd be insulting your own fucking intelligence, right? If you had it to know what the fuck I am and who I am. So I was like, I didn't, even when it was all a fucking act. I had to fucking do, and I went through what I had to go through. So I get it. So, but yeah, so it's like, and sometimes even the therapist, if they're empaths, they fucking realize it was a fucking act. We had to just go through it because there's no way we could say I'm a fucking high level empath or whatever, or a fucking angel or whatever the fuck. I'm just a fucking messenger of God. There's no, that shit ain't gonna, they don't have, that's not in the DSM currently. Right. So it's what it is.
It's in a couple books,
Oh, it's in a couple. It's in a couple books. It's in a couple books. It's another couple of books. It's in more books than the fucking DSM will ever be in. But obviously we live in a fucking society that it's working for now, right? Eventually, we're getting to the point where we're not gonna need that shit. But that requires us taking over, and so this is the process of that. If you've enjoyed our podcast and would like to see and support future content, visit us on patreon.com/afroempath. I wanted to have like a little outro, because I don't know if this will be the last podcast, but I do know that it's going to be the last podcast for quite some time, and it could be several months, it could be years. Realistically. So I wanted to first of all say that I'm going to be putting this podcast archived on archive.org. So currently I guess you would search for my username. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put the whole website up there. I don't know, but currently my username is Afro-Empath Archives. So if it's possible to search for a username, or I don't know, I'll hopefully I'll have a link to it or something like that. But I don't think it'll matter, because I'm going to put it up there. It should be okay. It should be secure. But I don't know. The point is, I know this podcast is so important that that this work needs to be saved. And I know it's on YouTube, so it should be saved somewhere. So it's good. But still, I want it to be saved somewhere in an MP3 format. So look for it on archive.org. Just type in Afro-Empath or Afro-Empath Archives, and it should hopefully come up. And the last thing I wanted to say really is that I created this podcast. I mean, there's many reasons why I created this podcast. Obviously, I wanted to meet other people like myself because I knew I couldn't be alone out here. But my big thing was to let empaths know who they were cosmically, right? And their cosmic responsibility, right? So I've said that empaths are earth angels, right? We are earthbound angels. And we have a responsibility to essentially usher this world into a state of enlightenment, right? And that just basically ushering God's kingdom, right? And to do that, we have to transmute a lot of mainly generational trauma, but also other trauma that's not even our own generational trauma, right? And other forms of falseness and spells. Period. It could be societal. And I wasn't going to leave anybody. I wasn't going to, whether I met anybody or not from it, which I knew eventually I would, but I wasn't going to leave anybody like myself out here with no guidance, right? Because there's so much fucking misinformation in this world, right? It's like where do you go to find it? Where it's just like, where is it all laid out? Where, you know what I'm saying? I've learned from many different schools of thought, and obviously there's more to be talked about than what I've shared on the podcast. But I think I've laid a good foundation, and also have brought on other guests, besides myself, that also have a decent foundation of knowledge and are experts in some esoteric fields and some psychological fields, to speak on, to speak on topics that I think we would benefit from understanding, but also to just show people who we are. You know what I'm saying? Just like, who are empaths, period. Cause it's important for the world to know as well, because we are getting to a point where eventually, I know for myself, speak for myself, I'm becoming a living God, right? And that is a lot of work, right? A lot of work, inner work. And I wanted to create a platform to let the world understand who we are, who I am, because realistically, one day, your boy's about to be fucking, flying or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're about to be fucking, doing some superhuman shit. So it's like, I'm preparing us, you know what I'm saying, for the reality of ourselves, and also preparing the world, for the truth that is to become God's kingdom. So, with that said, hope you've enjoyed it so far. Hope you've, I'm sure you've learned something. And most importantly, keep your heart pure out here, man. Keep your heart pure out here. And just know that you're not alone, right? You're not alone. So hopefully, if anything, I brought some people comfort. All right. God bless.
It itches, it burns you, you can feel them around you. To me, like when they get close to me, that's when it's the most eerie, because like I told you that when I first saw them in South Carolina, they're like that. There's like wards of them. They don't come just one, they don't come just two, they're always around. You can see them, like, that's why I sage my fucking house right. You get them bitches and you get the corner. I have had sage burn all the way through in the last month and a half, just off of some shit happening. The shift. They're a lot of people are waking up and they're transmuting it a little bit. There's people are starting to wake up. They're not doing it as powerful as you. They're not going through the same shit, but that's why they're fluxing out more. And that's why people are getting depressed, because they're jumping or trying to get in through your bodies, they're trying to weaken you really, and try to, like, I don't know if that makes any sense,
complete
but
sense. No, it makes complete sense. No, I'm grateful for you sharing now. Wow, it's a lot. Katsia,
yeah,
it is a lot. Just by me meeting you, listen, boo boo. I fuck demons up, eat them motherfuckers for lunch, breakfast, and dinner, boo boo. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cover you like a fucking warm blanket, beautiful. You understand that? You know that, right?
Too much.
Let's take some deep breaths, shall we?